Hello and welcome to Channels Book Club. My name is Olakunle Kasumu, and as always, I'm happy to be back on the show. First of all, the biggest literary prize in Africa, the NLNG Prize for Literature, finally announced the winner for 2021. Let's get to meet with the three finalists and then the winner for this year, who is the author of the increasingly loved book titled The Son of the House. Let's get to meet with the three finalists and then the winner for this year's prize for literature. So congratulations to Cheluchi. Great thing to win the NLNG Prize for Literature. It's the biggest prize, literary prize in Africa, $100,000 for the winner every year. I'm sure there are many writers out there who are looking forward to winning it next year. Up next is a fascinating book. Imagine if you can find a book that captures the firsts in every facet of life in Nigeria, the firsts in the aviation sector, the first in the banking sector, in sports and politics, in culture, in arts, and in literature, and every facet of life in Nigeria, audacious projects. Now, this book attempts to capture the firsts in every area of our national life in Nigeria. Amazing book, amazing work. And it was written by a man, an author that I absolutely love. Let's get to meet with him, and then we dig into the conversation we had with him, and you'll get to know this book much better. And apart from this book of firsts, there is a second one he has written, and we spent some minutes discussing it, which is a lovely book of quotes by Nigerians over the years. Let's dig into this.
Nick Nnamdi Onyechi is a librarian, information scientist, documentalist, educator, and educational administrator. He is a graduate of universities of Ibadan, London, and Loughborough. With over 40 years of meritorious public service in several sectors, Nick Onyechi has contributed immensely to the academic field. Nick, as is simply called, has several reputable journal articles to his credit. He is the author of the books Nigeriana Quotable Quote, which is a collection of over 1,000 vintage quotations from Nigerians, and Nigeria's Book of Firsts, which was initially published in Nigeria in 1989. Nigeria's Book of Firsts fills a yawning information gap in Nigeria, as well as uplifts the level of national consciousness and patriotism among Nigerians.
Sir Nick Onyechi, nice to have you on Channels Book Club, sir.
Thank you very much, Kunle. It's
Great
my
to have you
pleasure.
here. We've been on this for a while, so I'm relieved you are here now. I'm very excited and happy to have you here, finally.
I am so excited too.
Great. Let's jump. I mean, so much to talk about with you. You're a man with so many incredible experiences and so much to learn from. But I mean, this is the book club, and we're here to talk about your two books. So let's dive in straight. The one that fascinates me more is Nigeria's Book of Firsts, and this is a book with
That's right.
with an amazing story. You wrote this book decades ago for the first time, and then recently republished. So what's the story of this book?
Well, Nigeria's Book of Firsts, as the name implies, especially highlighted by the subtitle, a handbook, is actually a handbook of pioneer Nigerian citizens, institutions, and events, which implies that wherever any fest has been recorded amongst Nigerians or with a Nigerian phenomenon, it is captured and published where possible. That's the whole idea of this book. Now, you can liken it to the Guinness Book of Records, from which I actually drew the inspiration, in the sense that Guinness Book encompasses all outstanding events, the first, the greatest, the big, this and that. But in the case of Nigeria's Book of Firsts, I elected to work on just firsts, pioneers. And you know, the firsts usually have a special place in history as pace setters, you know, trailblazers. So I examined the entire spectrum of Nigerian publishing and all the other things, and discovered that we have quite a lot that we can showcase at first, alongside something in the region of the Guinness Book of Records. So that's actually the background, or if you like, the motivation for this particular book. Now, if I may continue, it has many sections, and virtually every first in the area of armed forces, religion in no particular order, politics and governance, sports, education, and all of these things have been highlighted. And where we take something like education, we capture, like, for instance, the first vice chancellor in Nigeria, or the first female vice chancellor. And when we do that, we project not just the fact of the matter, as in date, but we give something like a biographical or background information about the event or the person. So when you look at all of this, you see that it's quite a comprehensive book, you know, which has quite a lot to offer, especially in the area of history and patriotism of this country.
Comprehensive indeed. I mean, I have to say, this is an incredible book. Really, it is. Because the first time I saw the book, I said, wow, I like the title. And then I'm a big fan of history. So going through the book and learning the firsts in the various industries and aspects of our national life, I mean, I found the experience really exciting. And I like the fact that you also went from one area of our national life to another. Like you just said now, the armed forces and religion and
Yeah.
culture and arts and sports and the various aspects. And it's just a must-have. I wish every school will have a copy of this book. Now, a few fascinated me. The Eyo Festival, for example. You've got the Eyo Festival
Yeah.
in page 10, where you wrote the first procession in Lagos, Nigeria, of the Eyo Cultural Festival was on February 20, 1854, to commemorate the life
That's
of
right.
Oba Akintoye of Lagos. Wow. You know, I never connected the your festival to Oba Akintoye. Pardon my ignorance, you know. There are a lot of things that we see every day, but you just don't take note of their history. That's quite interesting, sir.
Well, my response to that really is that in digging up the materials for this book, we actually dug deep. We went into all, by the way, a little bit about my background, you know. I'm a retired librarian and information specialist, which means I deal with books. And I've been in this business for over 40, 50 years, you know,
Wow.
both as a practitioner, as well as a teacher, an educator. So in the course of my work through these decades, we've learned the art of information gathering and dissemination. So what I felt was necessary in a book such as this, if it would be useful, was to dig very deep. And one of the places I worked in, the University of Ibadan, has the best library that you can imagine in the entire Africa. It has what we call an Africana collection, which I used extensively. It has archives, its own archives. And outside of libraries, we crisscross the country looking for materials from the National Archives of Ibadan, of Enugu, of Kaduna, and all of that. We ransacked many publications, historical and otherwise. And it's from all of these that we sifted all the materials that we eventually packaged into this book of Fairs. Like you said, it covers virtually all segments of the Nigerian polity. So you can imagine how extensive the work must have been.
Fantastic. That must have been some work.
Yeah.
Let me point out a few interesting parts for me that I found interesting. I mean, so many things to learn here. In page 11, I was fascinated when I read about Village Headmaster, created by Segun Olushola, being Nigeria's first television local drama series. I mean, somebody's probably out there and wondering, how come we didn't know that before? Everybody knows that, but I mean, it's exciting to just have this eye-popping experience, even with so-called commonly known things. I mean, I loved Village Headmaster back then, but reading your book, it just triggered in my mind that indeed, that was the first television series in Nigeria. So I found that interesting. And also the first novel in the English language, The Palm Wine Drinkard, written by Amos Tutuola. So that brings me to my next question. While you were preparing this, which of these discoveries really fascinated you while you were working on this book?
If I begin to list them, it will take virtually every entry in the book, to be honest. because I found virtually everything about the entries intriguing, not just you, the reader, but the researcher who was actually trying to establish these facts, these details. Now, one of the things that I have found most fascinating is the fact that it has this particular book tries to establish great achievers of this country without necessarily thinking only of the high and the mighty, the politicians and so on. So when you dig into an area like sports, you discover that people like Ajunwa should be just as celebrated as the Awolowas, the Azikiwes, and all of that. So that's one thing I found about this book that helped me very much. You see, and digging into history wasn't easy at all. I told you that we went around searching for materials here and there, but when you there's a publication that helped us very much, the Daily Times of old. It had a particular thing called headlines, which was all historical. I wonder why such papers have gone down the drain. But we got quite a lot of materials in those areas in that particular newspaper that helped. So this is actually an intriguing book. When you need, as handbook, it suggests that you don't even need to visit libraries to get information. Once you have a book like that, virtually everything you need can be sourced reference-wise if you don't find the time to read everything.
One other thing that I like about Nigeria's Book of First, just before we round up finally on it, is I like the pictures that you used in the book, the interjection of pictures here and there, this page, that page. lovely. Some of them, I mean, Shadi Adu's picture I can see here. There is also the picture of Sir Tafawa Balewa, the first Prime Minister of Nigeria. This lovely picture with JFK Kennedy. Very lovely.
Yes,
There's
yes.
also here the
Wale
picture of,
Soyinka.
I mean, there's quite a number of them here. There is
Yes,
Chinua Achebe in 2008. And
that's
there you
right.
spoke about Achebe being from 1961 to 1966, the Von commenced external broadcasting on Nigeria in 1966. You spoke about him
Yes.
being the first director of Voice of Nigeria. Many people talk about him. Many people know him for Things Fall Apart, but here you are saying he was also the first director of VON. So quite a number of lovely pictures there.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
including Wale Soyinka.
Wale Soyinka, and then the Naira notes here.
Okonjo Iweala.
Nigeria's change to decimal currency. Then you then put the Naira note, the former £1 notes, and the former 50
That's
kobo
right.
notes. That's on page
No,
85.
yeah.
Quite a number of them. Well done, sir. Good job. Good job. But you've got a second
Thank
book titled Nigeriana Quotable Quotes.
you. That's right.
Tell me a bit about this.
Well, Nigerian quotable quotes is actually just another compilation of quotations. And you know the importance of quotes, especially to writers, those who write speeches. And in fact, virtually anybody, is like the oil that you use to eat your yam. What is distinctive about this particular one is that whereas virtually all other quotes in existence focus on Western literature, this particular publication has focused exclusively on what we call Nigeriana. That is to say, quotes by Nigerians on Nigeria and relying almost 100% on Nigerian situations. That's what is distinctive about this. And the motivation is that we have quite a lot of charismatic writers, people who have made their mark all over the world. The Wole Soyinkas at Chebes, the team at Newswatch, Dan Agbese, Dele Giwa, and all of that. Quite a lot of political activists, social critics who have made very important quotes, which we felt needed to be projected in a manner that shows that Nigeria itself has come of age. So rather than quote only Shakespeare, things, Wordsworth and all these other Western people, we have a core, a large core of Nigerian quotations who can also be quoted internationally. That is the meat or the raising the tail for this publication.
And the quotes are sectionalized under different topics, ranging from family to experience to history to democracy to culture and so on. Let me read a few of the quotes in here. I was caught by Ojuku's comment in page 16. Ojuku's comment. Emeka Ojukwu, the legendary Emeka Ojukwu. It is not enough.
Oh, yeah.
It is not enough just to applaud and accept wealth. We must constantly question the legitimacy of its acquisition.
Acquisition. True word.
Powerful,
true in all
isn't it?
respects. There are so many. If one were to begin to read them, in fact, there would be no need to buy the books anymore. You see what I mean? But,
I found that
even
very
by
powerful. Let me read another one I
Yes.
found interesting. Page 17 by the great jurist, Sir Oputa.
Chukwudi Oputa, that's right.
Yes. Yeah. Um, Nothing will happen in our nation, in our society, which did not first happen in our minds. That is so
Mine,
powerful.
yes.
If
If
wrong is
wrong is,
rampant, if indiscipline is rife, if corruption is the order of the day, we have to search our individual minds for that is where it all starts. It all starts in our
that,
minds.
that's again true word by Chukwudifo Oputa, the renowned jurist. You know, if
I
you want
mean,
to go,
unfortunately, we don't have so much time, sir. But let me
that's so
ask you
much
to
time.
leave us with one of your favorite quotes in the book. I'll leave our viewers
Okay.
with something to think about. One of your favorite quotes in the book. I know I'm catching you off guard, but is there anyone that
Yes,
pops
I
up in
know.
your mind?
Hmm. Well, there's this quote on page 19. No man is more pathetic than he who finds himself wedged between two cultures, neither of which he fully belongs to. And the reason I'm quoting this in particular is because he's not one of those you can describe as top grades, but just to show that anybody who has a reasonable quote, has a chance of being there. Do you want another?
Yes, I do. One more, one last one.
Okay, okay. This is quite brief. When a soldier captures a city, he loots it. When he captures a country, what do you expect? And
Mm.
that's by Sam Aluko.
Oh my.
You know,
Oh my, that is so
Sam
deep.
Aluko.
And we could go on and on, page after page
We
of
could go
rich,
on and on and on.
thought-provoking quotes.
So, yes. So these are recommended for virtually everybody. In fact, both books that we have had time to review. That's one area we haven't delved into. But I think that part of the reason reading culture is poor is because we don't patronize great works like this. I think all universities, all secondary schools, embassies, and such places should have copies of these two books because they not only have a wealth of information, they are relevant to the Nigerian polity, history, culture, and what have you.
Thank you very much, Sir Nick Onyechi.
Yes,
Thank you for
Nick.
joining us on Channels Book Club. Thank you for giving us this beautiful gifts. Nigeria's Book of Firsts and Nigeriana Quotable Quotes. It's great to have you on Channels
Quote.
Book Club.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm so grateful for this opportunity to chat about these two books. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much.
Thank you, sir. I just love books that attempt to capture our history. That I feel they are so important going forward, particularly for very young people in the country. This book captures so many things. You need to get your hand on a copy and get to see what we just discussed, right now. And the book of quotes too, lovely quotes, lovely quotations from many great Nigerians over the years. This is where we have to draw the curtains on today's episode. As always, we're very delighted to get your feedback through any of our social media platforms displayed on your screen. My name is Olakunle Kasumo. Remember, one great book can change your life. Bye-bye.